It is Tuesday. It is Club Top Shot. The crypto markets are actually pumping. We are all at full mast here at a 5% upward move. We have takes on the slap heard around the world. We have all kinds of hilarious things going on in the Bored Ape universe. We got NBA playoffs talk. Maybe we even hop in an Underdog best ball draft here tonight with myself, Jack Settleman, and Andy. It is time for Club Top Shot. All right, here we go. I feel like we got our reps in, Jack. We did the Top Shot pack drop stream on Thursday. Andy, we missed you. It would have been great to have you in those streets.
Yeah, I'm sad I missed it. Next time I'll be there.
Yeah, I think we did a good enough job to get asked back, don't you?
Debatably. Yeah, your game was really fun, Andy. We played a game where Pete took screenshots of moments from the new set or the new pack drop, and we had to guess, based off very limited clues. That was fun. So I think that might have been enough to put us over the top.
So what you're saying is just a modicum of effort to live streaming.
Screenshots.
Yeah. Any planning whatsoever is probably better than the majority of me popping on at 8:59 before that.
Yeah. We get by on this show because we're thought leaders, and clearly we just have these takes emanating from us nonstop. And speaking of which, I mean, I feel like this take train has been obliterated. I missed it all. I went to bed. I didn't have my phone. My wife had to tell me in the morning that Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith. The people need to know, were you guys watching live? What were your reactions? Did you think it was a bit? Andy, what were you doing? I saw you had some tweets, so I assume you were watching live.
Oh, yeah. So I wasn't watching. The Oscars is incredibly boring. I love movies. Big movie guy. The Oscars really boring. Wasn't watching, but I was on Twitter. I was about to go watch the second half of Ocean's 12 actually that night, and all of a sudden I see this thing go off on Twitter, and I was like, oh well, guess this is what I'm doing for the next hour until I go to bed. I'll finish Ocean's 12 another night. Finished it last night. It was great.
So there you go. Andy only has takes on Ocean's 12. Jack, were you watching the Oscars live?
I wasn't watching. It got sent in a group chat, and I think everyone's first reaction was, oh, that's fake, because you didn't really know the context. All you saw was like the slap. The first clip that went viral was just like him on stage slapping him, and then Chris Rock's laughing, and then obviously we see how real it is. I don't think anyone at this, I mean, I know there's of course people who do think it's still fake, but I think majority of people have come to this is a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about it with Spags on Splash Play the other day. The only thing that made me think there's still that made me think it could potentially be fake is, to me, I feel like, yes, Will Smith knows he probably can't go close fists and punch Chris Rock. Like, that wouldn't look good. Yeah. But to me, I feel like the male natural aggression would have been a shove. Like, if I was truly pissed and I went up there, I'm giving Chris Rock like a good shove, hoping for like a tabletop action where he just falls on the ground. But a slap, it feels almost vaudevillian and silly in the where I was like, this has to be a bit. Who slaps someone?
Yeah, I've never at any point in my life been like, I'm gonna slap this motherfucker.
so
it's just never been
in the most violent to least violent, is push below slap though?
I think so, because think about the way even athlete beefs start, in the NFL. Like, it always, you're in your face and then someone escalates it with a shove, and then maybe you start going to blows. But a slap is never involved in that.
Yeah, even the NFL guys.
It's too middle of the road. Yeah, you have to make a choice of like, am I punching this person or am I just like pushing them or getting in their face? A slap is like, oh, I don't want to punch them, but I'm gonna punch them. Make a decision.
I wonder if in Will Smith's head, and I've definitely had this thought of like, would this be a good bit? Would this be you could always hide behind the cover of something being a bit. I wonder if in his head he's like, I'm pissed off. I know I can't punch him. Maybe if I have a smile on my face and I go and slap him, I will be able to get away with it because people think it was a bit. Then he couldn't control his rage once he sat back down and started screaming at him. But I wonder if that was his thought process of like, this is my get out of assault, literal jail free card. I don't know.
It was bizarre. Yeah, it was crazy. The whole thing was crazy. It was just a wild scene.
Yeah, and I do think too, the reason now I'm feel pretty fully convinced that it was entirely real is just knowing like the Oscars, as we just said, none of us were watching live. None of us felt compelled to watch live. They've been struggling to make that appointment viewing for years now. If the producers knew ahead of time that they were going to have this mega viral moment, you got to think they would have kept the cameras up there. They wouldn't have cut away. They would have let this play out. I mean, it seemed like everyone was caught off guard by this.
It would be really bad from the Oscars if this was staged. Like that's just it would just be a nightmare. But it would also be the most successful viral moment ever orchestrated. So in that regard, it would be successful. But yeah, I think it was definitely real.
I legit had never even heard of the movie that won Best Picture. I didn't even know that movie existed. I mean,
what movie was it? I didn't actually pay attention to the Oscars itself, only the slap.
What was it? What's it called, Jack?
I have no clue. I wasn't watching.
It's called Coda. Coda is what it's
Oh
called.
yeah. I heard like in like the Bill Simmons pod, they were talking about how it was like a sleeper Oscar pick. That's my knowledge of that movie.
Jim Carrey went on like a news show and like was essentially saying not only was it like the most disrespectful, awful, selfish move by Will Smith, but like you ruined it for everyone else. Like there's not a single person who's talking about the Oscars after that, right? Like you have no clue who won. And for a lot of people, that's the biggest night of their life. So I'm ready to move on from the Oscars and the memes. The memes are
they're not good.
They're just because in the grand scheme of things, it is like a live assault on television. Like it's not like a glorious funny moment.
Yeah,
it's like a crazy. It was nuts.
No, I agree with you. There's a part where it's like, oh wow, get your popcorn, like this is crazy, and then you're like, this makes me feel weird. You legitimately, I think it's safe to have concern about Will Smith's mental health. Like he clearly is in a really weird space if you could be brought to doing that. But yeah, it is also just weird.
Well, you're a comedian, Pete. Like, what's your take on comedy in general after this?
I mean, come on, like they have basically baited the hosts into doing that roast style comedy at the Oscars. It's like what you sign up for is you are roasting the nominees and the people there. And I thought that was like a middle of the road joke. You know, there's been far more vicious jokes. Sure, there's also been far more creative and funny jokes, but it seemed relatively harmless. It didn't seem like it crossed the line to provoke someone to come on stage and slap you is what I will say. And I know some people are saying, hey, he didn't even write that joke. I mean, I'm not going to also let someone off the hook. Like when you're the host, you get to decide what jokes make it on stage. If you don't like the joke, you just tell the writers we're going to do another one. But that said, I did think Chris Rock handled it about as well as he could have, all things considered. I mean, the fact that even some of us thought it might be a bit shows how well he played that off.
Yeah, he did do a good job.
Although
he would have perfectly handled it if he could have come up with something in the moment. Like, and there was obviously material to be had with that whole couple, but
yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I feel like even 3 to 4 years ago, I would get excited around December for, the Oscar noms. I always feel like over Christmas break, I would try to catch as many of them as I could and then be semi-invested in who won. And I don't know, maybe it's a product of COVID, not going to the movie theaters as much, but I just had like zero interest. I tried watching Power of the Dog. I don't think I even got through all of it. I found it pretty awful, but I mean, did any of the other Oscar movies make it move for you guys?
I haven't been doing a lot of movies lately.
Yeah. I didn't even know. My physical therapist was running through them, and I was like, I haven't even heard of any of these things.
Yeah. There's Yeah, I don't even know which one. I mean, the only movie I really want to see is what won Best Foreign Film, Drive My Car, because it's based on Haruki Murakami, who's my favorite author, short story. And apparently it's really well done. But you also have to be in the mood for a 2 hour and 40-minute subtitled movie. And so it's also, when is that going to be the case? But anyways, we do have the most exciting thing in the past week, you know, as someone who has my little widget on my phone with all my precious coins. And I, for a while, didn't like looking at that widget, but now I'm in full on refresh.
You said
mode.
You delete it when prices are down. Are you a changed man?
When prices are down, when we're chopping sideways, I might still keep it, keep it on there. Andy, Jack, how are you guys handling a little up only action in the crypto markets these days?
Apparently with a muffin.
Look at this banana muffin.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's extremely noticeable how different the sentiment is after like 2 days of being up, even just the tiniest bit, which is always really funny. I don't know have you guys been following the Terra and Duquan stuff at all, and like what's going on with that, or should I?
Is this the bet or something? This is something else?
No, this is something else.
Oh no, yeah. I think I saw some Terra headlines, but I don't know what's going on.
So this muffin is too warm.
Allie, the muffin's actually too warm.
It's still a little gooey. It's sticking to the wrapper. I'll let it sit. So basically, Duquan was on a Twitter space, I believe, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna use."
Who is Duquan?
He is the founder of Terra, Luna.
Okay.
And so he was like, we're gonna use $1 billion of Luna, and we're gonna buy Bitcoin with it to like basically back UST, which is the stable coin that their system is made on. And then basically after he said that, he was like, oh wait, maybe I just said too much. Because then everyone was like, oh, you're going to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And people were able to figure that out really quickly. And then they were like monitoring their wallet and just watching them transfer $125 million to Binance at a time to buy Bitcoin. So a lot of the jokes have been that this current bull run has been triggered by them using $1 billion, just buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's crazy here. I was just looking at some of these tweets, and Terra Luna is the 40th biggest Bitcoin holder in the world now, with like you said, almost $1 billion there. Jack, have you been refreshing your crypto portfolios? Are you in build mode, Jack? Are you just head down building?
It is so funny how the sentiment changes, but I'm definitely not like Andy, where I've been through these crazy swings for, years and years. I've been in it since like 2018. So I actually missed like the first major dump off. I bought low, but I don't sell my crypto. And so what I've realized now that I feel like I've been through at least a few ups and downs is like it's all paper gains at the end of the day for me, because I don't plan on selling. Like I actually think that I want these holdings. Like I don't plan on selling my stocks. Like the point of buying those, I'm not a trader in that regard. But it is crazy, like, just having I am in Tendy mode, just building the chicken tenders. So mood definitely improves, which is something I would love to work on, because that's a horrible trade. It might be out of everyone's control, but like prices should not reflect that, especially if they are only paper gains. But definitely refresh, definitely nicer when prices are up. In the grand scheme of things, it really shouldn't matter.
As someone
it's been good for Twitter engagement.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's good for other
Yeah.
reasons.
What you need is crypto Twitter and NFT Twitter on the barbells. Like you either need things ripping or just down so bad. That's when the
Yeah.
content's really good. It's when it's
No,
in that
this
middle
side,
chop.
oh,
Yeah.
this shop has been brutal. There's nothing happening.
No.
There's no drama. Like Beanie came back for like a week. He's gone. Like he even saw how boring crypto Twitter was. So it's nice to.
Yeah.
It is nice to see more energy.
As someone who learned some hard lessons with his taxes and NFT trading, and maybe alter egos who didn't sell any of their ETH into fiat to cover some taxes, he's fairly relieved that some of these coins are getting back up to the price when he should have sold for taxes originally.
Yeah, so that is the thing, is we took a little crypto in the business this year, and so like when we have to pay that, looking at what I guess the value of money for payments going down sucks, but when you buy it and you're invested over time, it's fine. But overall, yeah, it's better. It's better. How have NFTs reacted? I feel like when stuff pumps, it's up a decent amount. I feel like normally they drop or they kind of simmer to match the USD price. I feel like they've stayed the same. Is that accurate?
Let's do a quick little check. I mean, Azuki is just
Azukis are ripping.
I saw their little billboard or whatever, their plane billboard across. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Have you seen the theories about that though?
No.
All right, we can get into that after this. Remind me.
It's Terra.
Okay.
Yeah. So Terra's buying all the Azukis. They're using it as collateral. Yeah, NFTs seem to have generally stayed chill, other than Azuki being up a good amount.
Okay.
From what I see.
Do you have a Azuki bag?
Less than I'd like to have. So that was one where
Me too, Andy.
I don't have as many 17 Ethereum NFTs as I would like to have.
Hold on. So I can give more context here to why that makes sense. So I spoke with their team because they fractionalized the one Bobu on Fractional. And so I spoke with their team prior to them even launching. And I talked to him. He's like, yeah, we're a bunch of like ex-Google people and stuff. And they were like a really clearly serious, talented team. And I was like, all right, I got to make sure I get a bunch of these because like they're not fucking around. And then all of a sudden one day it's like, oh shit, Azuki's minted and now the floor is like 3 ETH. And I was like, oh, I'll buy more when they drop. I'll buy more when they drop. And it just never happened. And so I have some, but in a perfect world, it was one of those things where after talking to them, I was like, oh yeah, they're very legitimate. I feel comfortable like buying a good bag of this, and just never got around to getting
Have
a huge
you
one.
had like a I don't know, Dingaling or who's that other guy, Pranksy moment where you've like just had crazy conviction early that you've just, besides Top Shot?
Yeah, the Forgotten Rune Wizards is the one.
Gotcha.
I have 100 of those. So
I
like the wizards.
I see you tweet about them from time to time. What are they at?
Like 2.5 ETH or 3 ETH, something like that. But I minted almost all of them, not
Gotcha.
100%, but
all right, let's Pump Skull wants us to get to the airplane theory here. I just Twitter searched it and I'm guessing I already know what it is, but start going here.
Yeah, so the theory is that they're partnering with Supreme. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So there's a couple different things.
Okay.
So Supreme in 2011, they released that video, the very similar video that Azuki mimicked for Azuki LA. So that's the one thing. It's like an extremely similar video. And then their founder also posted, I just shared it in our private chat, this tweet, which is from an anime called Akira. And there was an Akira Supreme collaboration a couple of years ago where they used, I'll show you the StockX link, the exact same image for the Supreme Akira drop.
Oh.
And so,
okay.
So those two things combined are why people are speculating that they're doing something with Supreme. And normally Supreme announces things on Thursdays. Their party is tomorrow. So there's like some level of, Wednesday night before a Thursday Supreme thing.
How does that make you
But
feel, Andy?
oh, I think it makes total sense, actually. Yeah, to me, like, I think Azuki has done, as far as like my personal taste or whatever, one of the best jobs of like NFT brands of kind of cultivating like a particular feel and vibe and what they want you to, like the emotions they want you to have when you're looking at their stuff or interacting with their stuff. And I think it's very, like, a few months, like maybe a month ago, after they had dropped and had good success, but prior to like this news and Ape Token and stuff, if I had to pick a brand that was going to partner with Supreme, I probably would have said that. So I think it makes total sense. If it's actually the case.
Do you think it moves the needle? Like, and then we can segue into the Bored Ape merch. But like, Supreme's? I actually think Supreme's the brand for NFTs, like the perfect crossover. But I don't know if Azuki is Supreme. You would know it better than me. But I feel like it's like, I don't know who this, maybe Invisible Friends, because like Kith, I guess, a little. But what do you think of like, will it move the needle for them at all?
I don't think it. So I think it moves the needle in so much as like validation to a certain extent of like the closest that Bored Apes got to something like this was doing like a collab merch drop with the Hundreds, who also have an NFT thing. And it's just like, if these brands, I don't think comparing them to streetwear brands is like the perfect comparison in a lot of ways. Right. But I think if these brands want to move into like mainstream culture and actually have it be cool to own these things, this is like the path towards doing it. Like, do you think that someone who has a Bored Ape profile picture is cool for having one? No. I'm glad you
said it and I didn't have to.
Yeah. But like, I don't think it's necessarily Bored Ape's fault. I think they probably have kind of passed into their own group of people who are going to do and like what they like. And it's just like not what I'm interested in personally in a lot of ways. And we could talk about the merch drop with that after this. But like, this is probably the closer that, like, I see everyone saying to clip it in the chat. I'm going to get roasted on Twitter for this, but that's fine.
Little farming
like,
for you there.
I feel like Azuki might have a chance to potentially like pass into a more mainstream, like, okay, maybe I don't fuck with NFTs, but like their artwork is cool. They partner with Supreme. That's sick. I'd like to buy whatever I can to be a part of Azuki.
Well, isn't it? Oh, go ahead, Jack.
I was just gonna say it's so true. Like, I think, as Bored Ape is 10,000, price goes up, you can't get in, and then they drop more, and like they're continuing to expand the ecosystem, right? But how do you bring it in real life? And I think merch is the first example of that. And definitely after seeing the merch, but I never felt like, me as a huge NFT fan, even though I don't have an ape, I've never felt like, to your point, like rocking Bored Ape merch would be cool. And then they kind of put out dud of merch. But like, if Azuki had really cool merch, yeah. So I do think there is this possibility if someone's going to come up with cool merch that kind of blends the two, and you don't even necessarily need to know. But yeah.
And I mean, in a way, obviously executing merch is far easier than executing a game. But in the same way, it's like we have all these roadmap things. And I do feel like merch has now become one of these de facto things these brands say. We want to become a streetwear brand. Like, you can't just snap your fingers. Like, I can go whip up a shirt right now and put it in my Shopify store. It doesn't mean that you've like created a brand or a culture. And I do, like, you look at some of those brands and it is the organic nature of what makes it cool. You can't just say we're putting out merch, it's cool, here, take our word for it. Like, there is this je ne sais quoi to it too, that you can't just manufacture.
You almost don't want like Bored Ape Yacht Club on the sweatshirt. Like, that's where I think the potential with Azuki is. I think they're going to be very smart about what elements from Azuki are actually on the stuff. If they just, slap an Azuki on the back and use the Supreme logo, that's obviously not going to fly. yeah, it's like a premier. Someone needs to go like the premier route, I think, and make a brand almost from it.
I was thinking of making a hoodie to put in my store that says your seed phrase here and then just a big underscore sign there and calling it Bored Ape merch. But let's talk about that because this leaked. Or is this officially out, or was this like a deck, Andy? This stuff.
This stuff just came out, I think, when they dropped. People posted the screenshots.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, my first thing I see up here in the top left, this looks like a recipe for a lawsuit from HBO for the incredible show with Jason Schwartzman from about 10 years ago called Bored to Death. Highly recommend it if anyone's looking for an old show to go watch. So surprised they just went straight there with the Bored to Death. It has like a very, I don't know, what would it be, like late 90s, like punk rock grunge kind of theme to it.
But it's like a 9 Inch Nails concert or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which isn't what I necessarily like. The vibe of the trailer, I thought hit like To the Other Side and that Doors song. I felt like that was pretty quintessentially Bored Ape's vibe. And who am I to speak for the Bored Ape community? But this doesn't necessarily feel like their vibe to me. I don't know. I
saw someone on. I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings. I don't care. I think a lot of this merch is shit. I think it's really ugly. I saw someone call it like 2015 mallcore, and I thought that was really
right. Yeah.
It looks like what you'd buy at like Spencer's or something. Like my issue with it is like the hoodie with just the small ape logo looks fucking sick. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I would consider buying that hoodie as someone who doesn't own a Bored Ape and cannot buy that hoodie. Normally, I would have bought that hoodie if I had the ability to. I think it looks really nice. And the same with like the small logo hat. I think it looks really nice. This stuff looks like when I was in 9th grade and I used to go to like hardcore shows in South Jersey. It's like what everyone would wear to those shows. And it seems like very outdated. It's not the style of clothes that I'm super interested in anymore.
Yeah. And it's a little all over the place too. Like the soccer jersey concept. I mean, that has more of like a Warped Tour vibe. Yeah, I am getting taken back now that you say it.
It's like, the Devil Wears, if you said this was the Devil Wears Prada clothing, I'd be like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a day to remember.
Yeah. Yeah. God, now you took me right back to like mid 1990s suburban mall and me like walking by Hot Topic and being like, yeah, I'm going to keep heading over to American Eagle, I think. This also dovetailed as who mentioned this in the chat, Ghost of Greg Oden. The shirts look like what would be in the mutant proposal guy's closet. So I had a little conflicted feelings on how hard to dunk on this guy, but apparently the internet said it was fair game to dunk on this guy. But did you see this dude who proposed to his girlfriend in a video and she was very underwhelmed? And did he make it specifically about owning a Bored Ape, or was it just because he had merch on?
I saw someone talking about it, but I don't know what happened. Maybe he proposed with a fuck render crystal, because that was what I wanted to propose with.
Yeah, here, I'll just play it. We could just see it here.
Looks like San Diego. Oh my god.
But I mean, that outfit, this guy probably loved the merch drop. He thought it was fire.
He's bummed it wasn't out before he did his proposal.
They definitely hug. It's a hug. Does he even get a hug?
Did you look in my backpack and see that I had that with me?
Wait, there. That's not a man. I mean, that is more staged than Chris Rock and Will Smith could ever be.
Well, here's my thing. It's like, all right, you have in your head, I'm going to shoot my proposal. Bored Ape Nation's going to come out big, being congrats to your boy. But then that's what happens. And I'm sitting there reviewing the footage. I'm watching it once more before I hit send. And I go, you know what? I'm actually not going to press send on this. Maybe it's just a tweet. Maybe we take a selfie with us smiling and I don't post this video. But for some reason, this guy went full steam ahead. Am I just too in my head? I could never post this video ever in a million years. But this guy said, send it.
No. Wait, hold
on. This isn't even the worst part, though.
Apparently, it's worse. Play the second part.
No. It's not about the video. You guys don't know about this?
Is this like she hooked up with someone and it was in?
No, her OnlyFans account got leaked after this.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
that's
saw
why
some
the meme.
screenshots
Wait, why is that
of-
bad? She's entrepreneurial.
No, I support it. It's her body, her choice. I would say for him, generally, not great.
Yeah, not great. I did see it was like a picture of a guy and a girl shopping for a house. It's like net worth $7 million.
Yeah.
She's OnlyFans. He's
Man, just a
wait.
tough-
Can you pull up the cringe part? I have to see the tiptoes kiss.
Oh yeah, it is bad.
Is
He's
this
in videos with her.
is this the same video, or was there something
Yeah,
else?
at the end of that video, it should be like him kissing her with like his hand on her butt.
That with me?
No, because he walks away. No. Maybe.
Maybe I
maybe
need
it's
that.
threaded below or something.
Yeah, someone might need to send me this this actual video here.
Yeah, chat says it's the reply underneath.
I mean, Andy, you recently got engaged. Were you thinking about leaking a video out to all the NFT homies to celebrate with you?
So here's the thing, I was dripped out in punk merch, but at that point I didn't own the IP, so I didn't feel comfortable posting it. I didn't want Larva Labs to send me a takedown request, so I decided to keep it private. So
Can you imagine
now maybe-
your wedding geosites page gets taken down because it has a takedown notice from Larva Labs? Oh, everyone keeps talking about more to this video here. I must be missing it.
Someone DM Pete the link because I feel like I have to see
Someone
this. DM
DM
on
Pete the
Twitter.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, yeah. DM the OnlyFans.
just searching through some of these other like this me trying to resist the urge to comment on that proposal video.
I like this one. The sound in that video is really good.
So, what were the engagement metrics on it?
I'm gonna guess pretty good.
Like, is this-
1.5 million views.
Oh my god, that's actually. I figured there'd be way more quote tweets. How many?
Here's the follow-up video. Oh wow.
Oh no.
This is where you lose sympathy for him. So maybe he had a wrong decision posting the initial one. Yeah, he knows what he's doing when he's posting this. Like, does he really think the Anons on Twitter are gonna think this is hella tight, dude? Is that what's going through his head?
Like maybe though. Like I guess that to Andy's point of just because you have a Bored Ape profile picture. Wait, how about the fact that the ring? I mean, you can't have a Bored Ape. Sell the Bored Ape. Get the lady a nice
He
ring.
could have got a better ring. I guess his profile picture was only a mutant. So
That's the other thing that makes it. Yeah, as Lou says, I shouldn't scroll too far here before I get into trouble here. But yeah, man, that just ends up being the cherry on top. I know mutants are worth a lot and all that, but not like making a big deal about it being part of Bored Ape Nation and then not being the actual Bored Ape as part of that. I in some ways, like I shouldn't feel sorry for Bored Ape people because they have, JPEGs worth, whatever, third of $1,000,000. But boy, do they find ways to just perpetually dunk on themselves. Like week after week, they just don't stop.
Well, that is the issue with giving everyone a voice. The reason why I don't need to explain that. I think everyone.
Yeah, full support. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
well, it's. I think probably the less fun conversation there is if this entire thing is a social club of how cool it is to do these things, how long do they have of just being perpetually not cool?
Right.
When does MoonPay stop buying artists Bored Apes and starts buying them Azukis or whatever's next or Doodles? Because the people are like, everyone keeps telling me this is cringe. Like, these are cool. They partnered with Supreme. I want to work with them. I want one of those in my profile picture. And realistically, it probably doesn't matter. The Bored Apes people are fine. But that's like the less fun part of that conversation if they keep doing things like that.
Goodness. Jack, seeing 1.5 million views on an engagement video. You're starting to get a little content idea here.
I liked Andy's idea, but now
How
that
about-
we own the IP, it's it's game over.
You want to know what the game plan is, Jack? You bury a ring in a chicken tendy. She bites into it. There's the ring. The tendies go viral. Snapback goes viral. I mean, what more do you need?
You're right. That might be the plan. Or
you're giving Haley the Heimlich because she swallowed your engagement.
right. No, maybe we'll do like V2 of the menu. We'll add curly fries, and I can propose with one of those. That could work. Those wrap nicely around the finger.
Jack, catch us up on, because you were in Vegas. What were you up to there after? Oh, first of all, no, I need to hear. I saw the photo. Did you enjoy your California burrito?
Oh my God, that was so good. And
Okay, good.
so I got like what was essentially a California burrito, but it was a steak and shrimp with a little different. So I had the burrito in San Diego, but then you recommended just a straight up Cali burrito. It was so good. Just like the flavor. It's like, I don't know if it's a 10 out of 10. It's probably a 9 out of 10 that I think would be a 9 out of 10 every single day if I had it. That's how I would describe like the Cali burrito. So
Because I think the thing that trips people up a lot is the fact that it has the potatoes or French fries, depending on where you get it, as one of the main thing. And it's basically the substitute for rice. But I love that switch so much, going from rice to potato in it. And then they just do the tortillas better. The carne asada is better out there. It's so good. Yeah. I ate my senior year of college when, I wasn't on my meal plan, so I wasn't going to the campus cafeteria. I think I had 4 California burritos a week my senior year. Like I lived off of those.
Yeah,
They're
it would be tough to not like, because you can also, what you can do, and I do this with Chipotle from time to time, is like you convince yourself it's a healthy meal because it's got protein, it's got it's got tomatoes, sometimes guacamole. It's definitely not healthy, but it's not the worst. There's worse meals. So yeah, San Diego was great. It's chill. I actually love West Coast, being on the West Coast, working East Coast hours, because I don't start work till like 10 a.m. here anyways. So waking up at 7 when the sun comes up is actually quite easy. And then everything's like died down by 3 o'clock. And you can just go to the beach, go hang out, get dinner, and go to sleep early. So I loved San Diego. I will say my one takeaway from this, I assume you went to the zoo before.
Oh, yeah.
It's
a great zoo.
My one takeaway from the San Diego Zoo was, I don't know how I feel about having kids anymore.
What, the kids are just unruly at the zoo?
They're unruly. You've got every parent is lugging like a child on their back up a hill. They're running all over the place. And I love kids. I was a camp counselor, but I was just cracking up to myself because I was one of 2 male adults by themselves at the zoo. There was one other guy who I walked past 3 times, so I recognized him. But yeah, the kids were unruly that day. But the zoo, I don't know if I'm a zoo person. I love like animals and nature, but I don't know. Something about it just didn't click for me. The zoo, if you want to see the best zoo though in the world, that's got to be it. They have everything. It's massive.
I went a few times to San Diego Zoo when I was a kid, and very much enjoyed it. And then I went a bunch of times when I was high, and it was also awesome. I could legit watch the apes, not the bored apes, the real
mutant apes,
the mutant apes, at that zoo for hours. But yeah, it is a good zoo. But then you headed to Las Vegas. What were you up to there?
Well, I want to give Tony some credit. This was actually San Diego Zoo is partnering with the Azukis. That's what the collab is about. Yeah, I went to Vegas. And it was for the Mint Collective. It's a conference, first-year conference. The big sports card conference, we talked about it when I was in Chicago, is the National. This year was the first year of this conference in Las Vegas called the Mint Collective. Peyton Manning's company, Omaha Productions, is actually partnered with them. They put it on. DraftKings is a big sponsor. All the big sports cards brands are sponsors. And so there was no Dapper presence in Chicago. And so I'd never even really thought about there being a Dapper presence there, but you walk right in the room. They were like essentially the first thing you saw. So I went up and talked to someone, and they were actually having some VIPs out. I actually didn't get invited like as a VIP, but I just essentially tagged along anyways the whole weekend. So first thing on Dapper that I think is just an interesting combo. I've heard from places, not from them, but from places, that Dapper is not fond of. I'll start with me. I don't know how they feel about the rest of you, but they're not fond of my, me tweeting my stuff, which I mean, I can laugh about it because it's really not a big deal. But I think it's like, then after I reflected on it, I'm like, it's kind of bullshit to a degree. There's lines, right? Like we learned with Will Smith and Chris Rock, but like we were a big part of the run up, and we were tweeting positive thoughts that, like, if we can't be open and honest about it, and Dapper doesn't like our honesty about it, I feel like that's not like a great mentality to have. Now, if there's stuff that we said or I said that was offensive to people, and the thing that I always try and remember about this stuff is like, this is real people's livelihoods, their jobs. Like, there's nothing like Roham should be fired, like anything like that. I just put out, how I feel about the product, because, we have a responsibility to our followers as well. People do take action based on what we say. So that was one part. Anyways.
Hang on real quick.
Was there a particular thing?
That's what I was just going to ask.
No, there wasn't like a particular thing that was noted. And this was literally just like info that was given to me that was said in passing. It might be half serious. It might be one person, right? Like, I have no clue. It wasn't like, yeah, they have a Slack channel that's like, Jack, we hate Jack, something like that.
Everyone has one of those Slack channels.
And look,
we have one in Fractional,
right? Of course,
just the fuck Jack element.
But yeah, like BGren14 says, of course, Mike is the ideal. He's perfectly positive all the time, and so I totally I'm not upset about that. I get why they would prefer something like that, but in my self-reflection, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay true to some of my thoughts. Maybe tone it down where appropriate. Like, there's definitely places where I'm sure I went over the top, just in general. But I think, being open and honest, we have to be, right? If people are gonna say we're gonna pump and dump, you got to be there, when people are dumping.
Well, I think one thing that reflects to our honesty is like this show, despite the name, and a lot of people even point this out and take objection to it. I mean, we've become much more than just a Top Shot show, even though that's kind of how it started. And what we do on this show is we follow our interests and what things we're excited about and what stuff we want to talk about. Like, this show would have died if I said to you guys, all right, every Tuesday night, I need a tight 90 minutes from you guys on everything happening in the Top Shot ecosystem. And also, if you can avoid any critical language surrounding it too, that would be great. Like, that wouldn't work for us too. So I think we've ebbed and flowed, and we've all had different relationships with Top Shot at different times, and how much it excited us, how much it frustrated us. And hopefully people feel like they get that raw, uncut experience from us. And, I can't think of any of your specific tweets. I mean, my guess would be sometimes, you have like genres of Top Shot tweets, one where you're just like stating facts. And sometimes when you're maybe like reading between the lines or not giving them the benefit of the doubt. And my guess is it's probably those where they don't feel like you're giving them a fair shake.
For sure. 100. Yeah. Like I said, there's definitely tweets that isn't just a fact. That is an opinion-based tweet that's in a negative fashion. But it is interesting, right? Because we do the stream and we're super. It's not like I'm going on the Top Shot stream and shitting on that. But there are balances, and you see people kind of give up what they believe in all the time in exchange for money or to work with that, right? Like, there's an incredible opportunity for Snapback to work with them and onboard tons of users. And so, look, I could make some money from Top Shot in that regard, but then you're essentially just dumping on people in a bad market. So, until we see some of the changes that are going to come, I'm always just going to be open and honest about. But anyways, Dapper was so nice. Love the team. That's the thing. It's like the people at the company are amazing. So it's nothing about that. And I'm after spending time with them over, All-Star, and I was around for that. It's like, it's not like they're not working. I'll continue to say they're building a long-term company, an actual business that isn't part of, an NFT run-up. Like, they believe in this thing. It's going to deliver value over time. And so it was great to be with them. And they got big stuff. Like, nothing really changed from the weekend of spending time with them and listening to them. It's all the same. Like, they're doing the right things. They're treating, like, there were some cool VIPs out there that they were taking care of. They're really conscious of the ways to do these things. So I had a great weekend with them. It was fun.
Nice. Where are you at? I mean, Andy, I know you're not necessarily engaging with the Top Shot platform on a day-to-day basis like you would. I just had a flashback to when I was DMing you. This had to have been in January. And you sent me your market cap sheet for Excel sheet for some of the various sets. And you were helping me understand a little bit of your investment thesis. I mean, we're a long way removed from those days.
Yeah, I don't know. I think as far as like pure investment goes, it's hard because I think it's easy to like be critical of a lot of things that they've done. I think that it's easy to like be wary of how some of their past projects have done and like that they've done very well and then not done super well. But like Jack was saying at the same time, like I know a lot of people at Dapper at this point, and they're really smart people who are trying very hard. It's like I talk with their team relatively regularly, and like they're a very legitimate group of people who are doing serious things. And so I think they get way too much shit from people who are just like, oh, they don't care. They just want to cash grab as much money as possible. Like, I know for a fact that that's not true. Like, that's just
Rohan would be gone if that was true. Like, he's out of there. He doesn't need.
Yeah, like I've spent enough time talking to Rohan personally, where like I know for a fact that's false. And so like I'm sure that for them is like very, very draining to have this thing that was doing incredibly well to where they probably got over excited about it, and they raised a fuck ton of money at a really high valuation, and now it's not going as well, and it's still doing very well. They're having $500,000 to $10 million of trading volume a day or whatever, but it's not what it was. I'm sure that's really, really like mentally challenging in a lot of ways. But like, I don't think it changes anything as far as what they're building or what they're doing. It's just like, in the short term and short to medium term, I think it'll be very hard for them to fully right the ship to ever go back to the $50 million a day in trading volume thing that happened in March or whatever it was of last year. And so I think that's got to be really challenging. But the way I feel about it for the most part is like people love sports. As long as you're the place where you can buy sports NFTs, I think NFTs will be more popular and sports will be equally popular, if not more popular. And so like they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to give more context of actually being at the show, like there was millions of dollars of trading volume in cash at the card show, so there's going to be, if you believe in, it's just like, I'm not necessarily questioning them. It's more so a question of, do you think Dapper wins out? There's no doubt in my mind that digital collectibles win out in some form or fashion. Now, there are pitfalls to some of the things maybe we thought were pros, like the fact that there's only 10,000 of those things, or only even 50, but the fact that you can see all 50 is actually bad, versus when you're at a card show, there's 2 of those cards. There might be 2,000 of them graded, but there's 2 at the show. And so the fact that it's always available is actually kind of a downside. And then secondly is like, until the burning mechanism, if there's 50 LeBron Cosmic cards, people, kids would have ripped them. They end up in poor condition. They get lost. You can't lose them, right? That's actually why some of the punks that are in dead wallets make the story more intriguing and may make them more interesting. So I think long-term, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they are moving in the right direction. What we were talking about with Mike the other week too, where I think Top Shot is big enough and robust enough that they can interact with different subsets of people on their level on how they want to interact with it.
Right.
The people who want to grind the flash challenges and flip, like they can play that game. The people who want to just hold long term, the people who want to just hold the really high end stuff. I think maybe that's where you could make, the case of the collectors not being served the most would be the high end collectors, just because they're most vulnerable to supply and set issues and roadmap stuff that could change the values or literal value and the narratives surrounding their sets and where they've made the big bets. But I don't know. I mean, the action seems like it's flying. Like I had some random metallic gold moment sell over the weekend that I had listed forever because it was part of some challenge. So like it was one of my first Top Shot sales in a long time. And it's fun to have at least something spur market activity.
Yeah, I would say what you said about the high end stuff is a good point. And like, this can definitely come off the wrong way, and sorry, but it's like one of the things that I kind of was like excited about in spending a lot of money on Top Shot early on. It was like, I'm going to be one of the biggest collectors on this site. I fucking love basketball. Like there's going to be dope perks. I'm going to get to go and meet Roham and meet an NBA player and do all this really cool shit. And it's like, none of that has really been a thing. Yeah. And obviously a lot of that was just like me speculating and projecting what I thought would be the case with this. But I do think that they've kind of dropped the ball in like actually making it feel very rewarding to drop serious money on the site and like be a very large and real collector. And it was, and again, it's not really fair to them because it's not something that they really promised in any way. It's not like they said, oh, when you spend this much on particular teams or anything, you're going to get X, Y, and Z. But it was kind of something that felt implied, even though it wasn't. And so I think that there's been a challenge there of kind of filling that gap and kind of making it feel exciting to want to be like one of the largest collectors.
And so when Jack mentions, like, Jack, you said you were out with some VIPs, like Andy, are you getting invited to that stuff?
No.
Okay.
And so I'll tell you what's actually funny about it. One of the VIPs who was awesome, like wasn't a big collector at all. So I actually don't know like what, like, I think their best moment was like LaMelo Cool Cats or something. Not like that's not a big moment, but it wasn't the top people in the profile. One of the people definitely was huge in trading volume and stuff, but it wasn't like it was the cream of the crop. But in general, I think my original take was I get why they don't care about the high end stuff. It's not their game. They're about onboarding millions of people. But then when I'm, at the card show, one super common theme is like, it's not necessarily spoken aloud, but it's this idea that we're all here collecting and investing and trading to continue trading up. And if the goal is to eventually end up with a hollow or a legendary, like we see people share that on Twitter from time to time. If that's the goal, if that market never moves and there's never exchanges in that, and it's not cool to get to that level, I think that's where, yes, it's only a few fraction of people, but it really drives the market from below, thinking like, hey, one day I may be able to own a moment like this. And so when you get in person, I think in-person events, although they're a digital brand, could be huge for them. Like I showed a couple people my collection and they were like, holy shit, like that's so cool. That's crazy. And obviously they can go look at it, but it really, puts the face to the name. And I think interacting with those people is cool. So I do think the high end stuff is vitally important. I don't know how much they can, I guess, artificially make that happen. The VIP program, like after spending a weekend with them, not only does it raise buyer confidence, but it also is like, okay, I could see myself, investing in a moment at a higher angle. But I think that that's another key element that's missing right now is like some of these cosmic, I guess what the reverse is like the high end stuff was flying right during that big run up. And so it's not like $50,000 or $100,000 sports cards sell every single day of every player. Sure, I'm sure one or two does every day on eBay or around the world. But it's like the fact that we've gone 6 months without a sale over whatever it may be, 50K, is that's like a bad sign. It's essentially saying like, hey, you can continue trading up, but like Jack's 1,000 to 100K challenge is just not achievable. And so I think that's where people lost interest in the market.
Well, I also think back to thinking through the VIP program, I do think it should be a very big priority of theirs, because it's almost a free roll for them to get really, really high end marketing, because Andy sitting courtside at the Nets game saying, "Thanks, Top Shot," or sitting in the box, that, like, I've seen it with the DraftKings pros and the guys who sit at the 50-yard line. And I'm always jealous of that. I'm like, where's my VIP rep? Even though I don't play enough volume, but it's an aspirational thing of like, whoa, I could be a DFS pro and DraftKings is going to send me to get, chicken tendies at the game and sit courtside. Like, and then I tweet that, and all the DFS whales, they share that stuff. They say, "Thanks, DraftKings," as would Andy and MBL. And it all of a sudden makes it this goal that people want to achieve because of these perks. Even if you spend way more than the perks you get back, it doesn't matter. It's just the way that works on human psychology. I think it's a no-brainer for them to build that out.
Yeah, I think the challenge they probably have comparatively to like DraftKings, and I think a lot of this is really more the mentality of people on Top Shot than on DraftKings per se, is like, I think if they did, like, if they had flown me out to the finals or whatever, because I had a large account, people would be like, "Oh, the fucking whales just get all the good stuff."
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, where you kind of just have to like pick your battles of what set of people you want to appease and like what you don't want to get shit for. And so, like, honestly, I really don't blame them, because like, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, fuck NBA Top Shot, I spent all this money and didn't do something." It's like, no, they're good guys. I'm fine. Like, I don't need to be upset about this. It's more just like, I don't feel an incentive to like continue buying $50,000 moments on their site right now. And so like, I very much so understand how they position themselves and what they're focusing on, because I don't think it would just like, if they did that, everyone who has a $10,000 account who didn't get to do that would be like super chill about it.
Yeah. And I mean, I know
literally works both ways, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they did, everyone would be like, "Damn, I want to own a legendary moment." But if they don't, or if they did also, people are going to complain, "Why do they get to go?" Well, I think, right, is like, if their message is going to be, "We don't care about your money, and we are just about onboarding, and we want retail investors," essentially, it depends on like what their message is. And I feel like that's changed a little bit over the course of time. So if they did then go and reward the whales, what messaging are they saying? But they're also saying how important owning legendary is. So it's a little confusing, and these are just part of the growing pains.
And I guess the thing is, it doesn't have to be, I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive. Like, "Oh, we're catering to the whales, so then we're not catering to that." Like, in the same way, I know that they've done some of those events. What was it? The one in Milwaukee and stuff. It's almost like you could have two things. We're going to raffle off 10 people to anyone who owns a single Top Shot moment. And then we're going to raffle 10 off to people who meet X criteria, whether with collector score or set completions. Like, I do think it's possible to accomplish both of those without the mob being like, all you care about is your high end people. I mean, I don't think it should be too hard in that regard.
One thing that this will be my guarantee, the next boom on Top Shot is when they allow pack breaking, which I believe is coming way sooner than later. So if you're not familiar with pack breaking, it's box breaking in the sports card world. You take $1,000 box, you can split it up a million different ways by team. You can give everyone, just randomization. You can do personal breaks, and you rip it on stream. Everyone's watching. You buy into it. That is what set the card market on fire. People spend 5 hours just chilling, not even buying, just chilling, watching, engaging. It may honestly take our show to one that, has crazy viewership. Like, I think, we did the auction, right, once, Pete, and that was a ton of fun. The problem with the auction is there's a very clear price on stuff, so it's a little tough. Pack breaking, it's easy, right? You take a pack and you just cut it up. And the
auction there, you're not getting the gamble equity in it, the lotto thing. It's funny you say that too, because one of this was like literally must have been 2 weeks into us starting to do Club Top Shot. One of Carlini's friends, and I feel bad because I'm forgetting their name now, but another like mega early NFT person that just aped into Top Shot. And he was emailing me about trying to do a pack break like on the show, because he's like, He's like, hey, now everyone who watches these shows is obsessed, and I'm sitting on all these packs. Like, is there a way we could do it?
I mentioned it with my
off.
what's it called pack, the Christmas pack. What's it called? Wow, I've really fallen off, haven't I? Deck the Hoops. Yeah, I remember back in the day, I was like, should we do a pack break? I think it would be amazing. Now, I think GM Shorty stuff said they already have a partner. Can't remember the name. I wasn't sure if it was announced or not, but I do believe it is Steady Breaks. It's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be huge for the market. It'll also get the type of people in that I think Top Shot needs.
Let me ask, as someone who doesn't have a ton of context into this market, why do they need to partner with someone? To me, it's just like they allow it by default because you can gift moments to people. So what do they like? What is it that you would want to see them do to like actively allow that market, as opposed to like what's stopping us right now from doing a pack break and having people send Ethereum to a multi-sig and doing it?
Nothing. If you have packs, I think what the partnership, they'll give the packs to them.
Okay.
And then I think that's what they'll do. And maybe they'll promote it and they'll do other stuff like that. But
I mean,
so it's more just like the marketing around it.
Yeah.
And getting people excited about it.
It's so in the sports card world, the people who break it's typically two things, right? One, they're entertaining and they've built an audience to sell to. And that, and then secondly, the pack breakers or card breakers are traditionally getting boxes of cards for cheaper than retail. So that's what makes it a good business model for them. So
okay.
Yeah.
So
we could, if we had a pack, we could easily do it right now. No problem.
Okay.
But yes, that'll be huge. And I don't know, I guess this is how crazy, like I'm so in the sport. Have you guys seen what Drake's been doing?
So I saw he was opening some cards, right?
Okay. So this is like, I guess for me, it's crazy, but in the grand scheme of things, it goes to show like how much of a vacuum I think the sports card hobby is in. Drake right now, as of like a month ago, has become the biggest card breaking degenerate. He's ripping $40,000 cases of cards. And so that's Ken Golden, who did Golden Auctions. That's a Michael Jordan rookie. So they ripped some 86 Fleer. And then this other box, it's like a suitcase, and they're $40,000 a box. There's like 3 specialty cards and then like 10 regular cards. The regular cards are still worth like $100 or $250 or $500, and he literally like throws them away. Like he doesn't care. He's going for one thing, and it's trying to pull the triple logo man. So I think it's like Jordan. Is it LeBron Jordan? Someone else, but it's like a $2 million card. But he's easily burned through like millions of dollars searching for it. And it's just been the greatest content ever. It's literally fucking Drake with this nerdy old white guy who is a billionaire from sports collectibles. It's amazing. Yeah, he's such a degenerate. So the hobby, as they call it, LeBron, Jordan, Kobe. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and
I know that because I read about it today. So I don't know.
And so he's like, you know, part of what makes their break interesting, besides the fact they're fucking chasing a $2 million card, is he's talking about his collection, the jerseys he owns. He owns like a Kobe 824. Like that, you know, if that grades out of 10, that's like $100,000 card plus. And he's got his grimy fingers on it. Like that's, you know, that's not what our breaks will look like, but
so here's the question. I mean, obviously this is what, you know, Top Shot wants, and they've been trying to, like, is there a world where Drake is giddy opening a pack trying to chase a moment like that? That's an NFT. Like, can we live in that world?
That's exactly why the sports card hobby is so excited, is because this is so genuine. Like he knows all about it. He's fucking, I wish they had the clip. He is ripping on Tyrese Halliburton. Every box he opens, there's a Halliburton, and he's literally like, Tyrese, like, hit me up. I'll sell your cards back at half the price, or just average 50 for me. So like he gets it. He's actually involved in it. It's not, you know, a paid thing that Flawless is paying him to do. And so it's just been huge for the hobby. I think that's the goal, right? Of like, could Mahomes find an interest? I don't know if it's genuine or not. Like when DeMario Davis or some of these NFL guys are like, oh, I pulled my boy's NFT. It feels forced because we're not watching it live. So if you could get people who are intrigued, that's why Tyrese was so big. Barnes is so big. Josh Hart was so big until he started selling his moments back to his fans. Like, it's authenticity. And, you know, we can see through that shit so easily. You're going to be exposed if it's paid. So it's great for the players to kind of share about it, but how do you find the people that actually give a shit? They're going to move the needle.
Explain to me, just so I understand, like with the card, what are the mechanics that they know that there's a $2 million card out there in those packs?
So Flawless is like one of the super high end. So think of like a hollow icon drop, and they know that there's like the number one LeBron in it. Let's call it that. Like,
and this is a new card. This isn't like some old.
I guess
new
they
card.
know in so much as
They know-
no one has come out and said, like maybe some 5-year-old kid opened it up and threw it in the fucking
Well,
trash.
yeah,
but,
that
like,
actually is the crazy part about it. The card could have been revealed, but when it gets pulled, people will obviously.
All right, hold on.
post
Let me pose a really just FUD my own bags proposal, like question here.
FUD or
Yeah, I'm fudding my own bags here, all of our own bags. What if the entire idea of like, oh, Top Shot is like a great version of collectibles because you know everything is actually worse? Because the best part about trading cards is that you have no fucking idea what's going on.
100%. That's what I said. When you're at the card show, there's only 2 of those cards. You know there's thousands more, but when there's only 2 there, and you can't lose them, they can't get damaged, they'll always be in perfect condition. It absolutely has become part of the it's become a negative to a degree.
Well, it's interesting because if you're going to flesh out that comparison where Top Shot and NFTs can really crush the traditional market is on the low end because they can manufacture value for these moments with challenges, all this stuff. Whereas the dust cards you pull from these they're worth pennies, but on the high end, that element is hard to be replicated because of that element that Andy just described.
And in pack breaking, right? Like, of course, when the logo man gets pulled, theoretically, the flawless cases lose in value because the chances you were going to get it have now gone to 0. But like, no one's going to know with it, you know, when the second best card or third best card gets pulled versus Top Shot, you can just go in and see like, have these 3 moments been pulled? So same thing. The transparency actually hurts to a degree. But I think overall, card breaking or moment opening will be amazing. Now the question is like, do they just go to a model of everyone can buy? You don't even have to queue up. It's $700, you know, for a decent pack. It's $1,000, and now you're doing negative EV packs, but we're gambling on them, and that, you know, makes it exciting in the market too. So it's going to be, and then it's like, I'm telling you, the world where let's say you pay $100 for a spot, you get an $80 card, $80 moment. If you could possibly just like list that for 75 and get that cash instantly and then reinvest and keep going, that's like, because the biggest problem for me was I was breaking cards. I would spend $300 on a spot, and I would probably get like $250 of value in some of them. But then it takes a week for the cards to get there. I got to put them up on eBay, pay eBay. It's like a nightmare process to get rid of the ones you don't want. Top Shot, it's like you could almost have people having like buyout prices to where, you know, if you pull this card, I'm buying it for this price automatically, and you can just refurbish the account. Which leads me to, I did hear that
this is giving me some ideas.
I'm telling you,
I'm saying, Andy, I mean, is there anything more at the core essence of fractionalizing than taking a pack and fractionalizing it into all of its individual moments? I mean, this is right up your guys' alley.
Yeah, no, I'm like, we can do this. Let me DM. I'll DM some devs tonight.
That's how Andy talks dirty.
I mean,
DM some devs tonight.
What do you think? Like, from what standpoint gets you excited? Like, from Fractional's point of view, or just from your?
So, this is like.
We'll all sign an NDA right now.
Yeah, us and the
Everyone's running
105
NBA.
people watching. Yeah.
Basically, what we've learned at Fractional over the last year, based on talking to a bunch of users, actually a bunch of people from Club Top Shot, like did a bunch of user research with us. We really appreciated that. So anyone who's listening to this who did our user research surveys, thank you. It was fun to hear some people from that say they came from Club Top Shot. But basically, like in Fractional, kind of like the two major ways we see shit come onto our platform is like a team or a group of people who have an idea for like a thing they want to do, like the Doge or Free Ross DAO or like a bunch of random shit like that. That's almost like more like a DAO than just like pure fractionalization. And so like that stuff is really popular long term. But for essentially everything else, the most exciting part of a thing coming onto Fractional is like that initial, like, I'm going to get into this thing. I want 10% of a CryptoPunk. I want to be a partial, I'm going to join the party bid for X, Y, or Z. And then essentially everything up until it sells again is just like boring. It's not very interesting. Maybe you find a seller, like, sure, there's ways you could try to make the liquidity easier or whatever, but like for the most part, it's just not a very exciting part of like the life cycle of what's happening. And so really what we're trying to like focus on is basically for everything that we're not going to be like working with a team who has an idea on, we want it to really like emphasize and have that like entry into collective ownership be very exciting. And so to me, this is like a very good version of that, where like if the most exciting part of opening Top Shot or like owning Top Shot moments is pulling packs and buying a particular moment, or a group of people buying particular like openings together, like that could be very exciting. Because most of the like, oh, I own 10% of a LeBron James hollow moment and I'm going to own it for the next 5 years. Like the people who want to do that are going to do that. But like, I don't think we're going to have a massively like huge crowd of people who want to be like day trading fractions of LeBron James cards. That's just like not a real market that exists.
It's almost like this, Andy, because you're thinking through the idea that makes this interesting is obviously when you get a fraction like that is that's a fungible piece of that, where you could swap it with someone else's fraction that had the same amount and it's even. Whereas if you had a different moment, obviously that one could be worth more. Like, I mean, I don't know what kind of laws, loot box or whatever their stuff is, but it's almost like with a fractional thing, Andy, say when we're all going in to buy a piece of this Azuki, and let's say like you pay like just like a slight little premium on what you actually get back. And then that gets pooled into a larger chunk. And there's almost like a share that goes into a lottery to everyone else who went in on it. So you get your piece of the Azuki, but then there's also this 10% chunk that gets raffled off. So now I'm not only am I buying into this community, this fractional ownership, but I get to clackety clack at a big share of it.
Yeah, it's one of the things. So one of the things I was thinking about for fractional in general, I don't think it works because of lottery laws.
Okay.
Was essentially just what if there was a version of fractional with no buyouts, but there was just a countdown timer to an auction, to like a random lottery where one person who owned fractions got the entire thing. And it was just like a pure like degenerate, like, yeah, I own 10% of this thing, and in 2 months when like the timer goes off, there's a 10% chance I own this. I like own the LeBron Cosmic or something.
So by the way, you asked like what, why is Top Shot partnering? I would imagine, I mean, the breakers run a very close line to gambling and security, like all those things. So to just take away, obviously.
Working with someone who knows how to appropriately toe that line is important. So it's something we've talked about internally. Is just like, how do we make that stuff more fun, like purely fun? And like half the time we're having those conversations, it comes back to like, shit, that's gambling.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why, I mean, I don't really know how breaking crosses that, but I guess NFTs is not securities for now is clear too. So you just play by the rules that you're given until those rules change. Another thing I saw someone mention is like repacks. So I remember doing what's called a Raz. There's like Razes, which is essentially just a raffle everyone puts in, a couple $100 and you buy
Mhm.
the equivalent of moments, at what was funny was I still remember I was $300 for a Raz early days, probably December of 2020. And I got last, and I was given the worst moment that was left was a LeBron Top Shot debut, and the first place person picked like a Trey hollow. Like there were hollows, legendaries, but like the LeBron is obviously what became the most pricey of the bunch. And then repacks is where these breakers will go. They'll buy moments, they'll buy moments off the marketplace and say, all right, the value of the moments cumulatively is 10,000. We'll do 10 spots for 1,000. And then there's a big chaser. So the first place or the top pull will probably be a moment worth 5,000. Everyone's guaranteed to get something, but it's effectively a form of gambling. But based off your two reactions, you can tell like this is the excitement that hopefully will bring in more. And then it's as simple as you pull something big, you clip it, it goes on Twitter, on TikTok, and then it starts flowing, and that's how this stuff goes viral. So that will be fun. That will definitely.
Yeah.
Would you guys our VIP Maxx is going to swing by in a bit to open a couple NFL all day packs he has. I've been itching a little bit to have someone hold my hand through some NBA playoff best ball. Would you guys want to rip off a draft on Underdog right now in their dance for the NBA playoff here?
Yeah, let's do it. 100%.
All right, you guys are either welcome to draft with me or hop in right now.
The dance, $10.
Yeah, can you afford it, Jack?
All right, I'm in. For some reason, my computer's Underdog refuses to recognize my location, so I have to enter the draft on my phone, and then I can actually draft on.
Oh, look at
computer.
Pete's balance. All right, BBM.
Whoa!
All right.
I gotta say, my balance has been down only. So
yeah,
down only.
I'm for sure the head of losing. There's no doubt about that.
I'm gonna put this out there right now. So just for people who don't know, we just hopped in the dance, which is a playoff best ball contest. So you're trying to thread this needle of getting as many points as you can to advance through the 4 draft rounds, which is there's the qualifiers in round 1, quarterfinals or conference semis, then you have the conference finals and finals. So you want to be able to have as many players playing in the finals as possible. But if you were to just load up on all of one team, you might not have enough points to advance. So as someone who doesn't know a lot of NBA, I'm going to rely on the chat to help me out. I did get the influencer 101 though.
Nice.
So I mean, is Giannis the head and shoulders?
So
number one?
What I was about to say is in best ball in the past playoff format, because I did NBA last year and obviously NFL playoffs as well. Who has the buys in years past, 1 seeds are going to beat the 8s. Brooklyn could be an 8. The Eastern Conference, there's literally 5 teams, 1 through 4, and then Brooklyn, who have a legitimate shot. And then the West, Steph's out. The Grizzlies are a weird team. Murray and Porter Jr. could come back. Besides the Suns, like I would almost say you want to grab all the Suns, but then again, they'll probably sweep through the first 2 rounds, and then you could be left for dead. So this one will be very, very interesting to see how it works out. But fantasy points wise, Giannis is probably going to put up the most fantasy points.
Yeah, I asked the chat who I should pick, and I'm getting no help here whatsoever. Okay, I finally have a vote for Giannis, which I am going to take him here.
What pick did Andy get? Oh, he's got the turn.
Yeah.
Have you done any of these yet, Andy?
No, I've been doing just dailies for NBA and the Superflex NFL.
Yeah,
my 2 go-tos.
Yeah, so this has a 30,000 prize pool up top. If you guys are somehow new to Underdog, they are doing the deposit match up to $100 for your first deposit. Get in there. We got the super flex drafts that Andy mentioned. Those are fun. And the playoff formats in general, the NFL one was awesome. I wish I knew NBA better because like just this format of best ball contest is, I think, the best format.
Oh, it's so good. Playoff best ball is the GOAT.
GM Short was saying Joker. I was saying I I didn't realize that he has now slid firmly back into the MVP conversation.
Oh yeah, they're knotted up -110. Him and Embiid,
And now
I actually
Giannis
think,
is also making a push as well.
yeah, and Giannis had a monster performance on the road in Philly. Shout
Tonight,
out PA Hoops right now. How are you feeling, Andy? What are you doing for the game set?
Oh yeah.
Man, I'm fucking bummed about more.
Yeah.
I was with a bunch of Nova guys last weekend watching that game, and it was one of those things where let me draft real quick. Hold on.
So
I
Andy
almost-
takes Jokic.
I almost want to take Ayton over Curry and Harden just because I feel so confident that he's gonna like actually play a lot of games. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. So I was with a bunch of Nova people, and so it was one of those things where they won, and it was like that was great, but also it really sucks because he's really good.
Yeah.
I had been listening to a lot of the like NCAA pods and stuff, and I mean Nova was getting a lot of disrespect. I mean Houston was like the favorite to win the entire tournament.
Yeah.
And so to me that felt like a classic Villanova. Like Villanova definitely gets very much so disrespected in the tournament a lot of times, as like when you get to the Elite Eight or something, it's like, yeah, sure, Nova's here, but whatever.
Right.
Or at least it feels that way a lot as a Nova fan. So hopefully they can pull something out, but at this point, I'm not counting on it. With like Gillespie's definitely hurt.
Yeah.
Moore's out now. It'll be tough to do anything, but pretty happy with their
If there's
showing
a if there's a coach and a team, you know, you got the one. But I agree. I think Kansas is going to be a tough matchup, just size and physicality. It feels like,
If I've learned anything from playoff basketball drafts, it's to correlate your team. So I'm going all in on the Bucks per help from Tommy here.
Yeah.
Sorry, go back to the Nova talk.
No, I wanted to stack Chris Paul and Booker, and then Andy took Ayton, and then Luka was there, and Luka is very good.
Yeah, he is. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the other thing too is I almost more so than I want Nova to win this year, I want Duke to lose.
You do. You're one of those.
And yeah, fuck Duke.
It does seem like fuck Duke has been a prevailing rallying cry for years, but I've noticed some sentimentality around Coach K creeping in here.
Nah.
It's so funny. Growing up in Maryland hoops, when they were back in the ACC, was like the little brother rivalry. Like obviously Duke UNC is the cream of the crop, but like Duke Maryland was a very real thing. And so I grew up hating Duke. You always hate Duke. You hate, Coach K. You hate all their players were punchable in the face. Like Will Smith would have had a field day with that roster in the 2000s. But ever since like the Zion, RJ, Cam Reddish team, like I don't know what happened. They kind of swung it for me. They haven't been dominant over the past few years, so they're not like the villains to me. But that team was like fun and engaging, so I was always a fan. I like root for them more so than I root for them to lose. But there's definitely people like fuck Duke, Coach K, like we hate him. So.
Well, they also had that shift because, all of the initial villains were those 4-year seniors, the white guys, the slap in the floor, all that. And then they turned into every other one and done, powerhouse type thing too. So they kind of morphed into a different version.
Yeah. Oh, all right. This is where the drafting gets super tough. But because I'm a freaking sharp, I'm going to grab Paul George, who made his return tonight. No way Underdog has updated the Paul George. And
he played tonight?
Yeah, he's back. You didn't see his hollow is up 48%. No, I'm kidding.
It would be a real bummer to be whoever has to play the Clippers in the first round.
If Kawhi came back.
If Kawhi comes back. It's almost like there's a world where it's almost worse than playing the Nets.
I was considering double tapping 2 Warriors and going Draymond and Clay, but then I got sniped by Draymond. I'm now getting multiple recommendations for a Memphis guy, specifically Jaren Jackson Jr., so I will do him. Is there anyone on Memphis that I should entertain here? Should I grab?
Bane and Adams are definitely their next two guys.
Is Adams?
Yeah,
further
Dylan
down?
Brooks might be underdrafted a little. He was hurt, so his numbers are down. I may have spoken too soon on the Paul George. I didn't realize they're in the 8, and they would probably play Phoenix anyway. So whatever.
All right, I'm just gonna stick with my correlation.
I gotta get some Eastern Conference guys. The Bulls have just fallen apart. Robert Williams. Do we think he's out for the playoffs? Probably.
Yeah.
All right. I'll start messing around with the Bulls. I think you got to figure out which team's going 7 in the first round is probably a big part of it. That was a huge thing last year. Was like Luka was the top player of the entire thing just because he played 7 ridiculous games.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can nail those. I mean, like the NFL analog was like Gabe Davis. Like Gabe Davis was on every single winning roster,
Right.
even though he didn't even make it to the AFC Championship game because he had 45 points in one game.
Yeah, that's where you see, like, I actually think a lot of Phoenix teams could easily get knocked out because they're going to win in 4 games, and you could easily have, teams that they're matched up. So you got to balance that really strategically. That's why this format's the best.
Yeah, it is. It is a very fun format. Chat, you guys are going to need to pull through for me here. I got 3 Milwaukee, 2 Memphis build here halfway. Man, it is so crazy being in a draft in this day and age and seeing LeBron James still available this late.
Well, I think they're currently out of the playoffs after tonight.
It's nuts.
They are, let's see.
I believe they are.
Unless the Spurs play. Yeah, I think they're tied. So, and the Spurs may have the tiebreaker, so they might be 11. Yeah, they're tied up with, how many games is that? 7 to go. It's nuts. And you know that LeBron's being drafted way higher than he even should be, just on the off chance that from the 10 seed, he comes back. They beat the 7, they beat the 8, and then they have to play the Suns. Like, it's not even.
Yeah,
like...
I mean, who would be considering LeBron James?
I mean, he is averaging 30 points a game, so you do get a little value there. But I don't know if they count the play-ins. That's actually. Yeah, they don't even count the play-ins. So you're only getting 4 games of LeBron. Probably not worth it.
But if he scores 60 in all 4 of those games,
I mean, he's gonna have to if they want to win.
Right.
All right. Is two nasties? You gonna stick with Wiggins? Yep, that's what I thought. All right, chat. Do I keep just loading up on Milwaukee? Do I just go Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez? Keep the Bucks train?
What do you have right now besides Drew? Oh my God.
Yeah, he has
the whole
entire
squad
Bucks starting lineup.
Wow.
This is the thesis. I mean, when in doubt, correlate. Right? All right. That's what I'm gonna do.
I actually don't think I have, this isn't my thing. Like, you need Herzig for this type of shit, but I don't think having 5 of them is helpful. Like, I could be wrong though.
Sounds like someone's a little jealous of my Bucks starting 5.
Maybe. I mean, I'm drafting the entire Chicago line for my boy Tommy.
It's going to be crazy when they lose in the first round.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be crazy when I ship this with a single bullet. Actually, there's going to be 2 bullets because a little tease. This is a little ways away. But next week, I believe we're settling on next Thursday. I'm going to be hosting a fun crew on the Underdog channel to draft one of these. We're going to have Wob. We're going to have Justin Pham. We're going to have Andy Jennings, a couple of the ETR guys. And I'm going to really need the chat's help that night. Although I don't think Justin Pham can draft as an employee, so maybe I'll have him be my Sherpa.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's gonna
I
be
mean,
fun.
Tommy, don't say this to Jack. This will go to his
No,
head.
that one won't even go to my head. I know he's just excited. I drafted three best Bulls players. Ben Simmons. Who the hell? That would be a wild take.
Yeah.
Trae Young. It gets slim. It gets slim in these parts. No doubt about it. Oh, Pete, come on. Your boy's still on the board, and they're firmly locked into the playoffs.
And I do need another Western Conference team to round out this build. Don't make me. I will take LeBron here. I'm looking at the draft room right now. Do not make me take LeBron because I will.
I don't think anyone's making it.
Who's another sleeper Western Conference team that could make a run?
I would say the Nuggets.
Okay, you had me at Nuggets.
Yeah, I would say the Nuggets.
Actually, as far as seeds go, they just don't have good players. It's just Jokic. Like,
no, but like
who on the Nuggets do you want?
I think Murray's probably a pick. I think he's gonna come back. They designated him.
Oh, what? I could have taken Van Vliet for the
That's
brand?
what I was said. I said he was on the board.
I would say Western Conference, Minnesota would be an interesting one. They've been crushing teams lately.
I like taking Anthony Edwards. I'm familiar with his dunks.
Yeah.
All right. I need another Minnesota or Memphis player then. Yikes. Dylan Brooks
wouldn't be bad, yeah.
No,
Okay.
Brooks is a great.
It's crazy to me that you draft people by starring them and then clicking draft. That's totally insane.
Well, here's the reason.
What do you mean?
Andy.
Oh, in case you don't click it, yeah.
There's a big reason when you're on stream and you start talking or you're debating and then you forget. You want to at least have the safety net there.
That's fair.
All right, my team's dead. I have no players from the winning Eastern Conference team. Sorry, Tommy.
So each round you need to fill a guard spot, a big, wing, and a flat, and 2 flex.
I would like to take someone from the Bucks, but someone has all the players. See, Tommy's already turned on me.
I cornered the market.
I know.
Who are your guys' pick to win the NBA championship this year?
I'm really starting to think about loading up on like some Phoenix futures. I don't know.
I was going to say Phoenix as well.
Did you listen to Simmons's most recent pod?
Yeah. It was like today, right?
I saw a social clip on yesterday and they were running through the numbers. Phoenix is currently 9 games up on the next closest team. There's like the numbers essentially say like Phoenix is a lock to go to the finals. And then from there, they've got like, a 66% chance to win it all. The Western Conference is down. They are like the number 1 scoring team in clutch efficiency, the number 2 defense in clutch efficiency. Their net rating in the clutch is 31.7. The next closest was like 15. Any team that's won 60 whatever plus games and finished 9 games ahead of the teams below them have gone to the finals. Like it's some bizarre stats and they're like plus 115 to make it and they're plus 300 to win it. And I don't really see many scenarios where they get there and they're not favorites that you couldn't even hedge off. So I think just from a value perspective, I really do like them, but
yeah, I think they're really, really good.
Oh, that's my.
I like them.
Team. Oh, I fucked up.
I don't really know what the odds are. I'm gonna pull up the odds.
For the whole thing.
Yeah. Is D'Angelo Russell? Is he still a thing?
Yeah, he's a thing. I totally did not realize that was the last pick. I only drafted 1 big, and he's on Chicago. So, so that did not go well.
All right, there it is. Good draft there. Hop into these on Underdog. Just be careful. They get very addicting. It is now time to welcome a special VIP guest, a man who once crashed our club VIP trip in Las Vegas stumbled upon a world-class meal at Momofuku. It is, of course, Max. What's up, dude?
Thank you, Peter, for the introduction. Amazing.
You're never gonna I will never let you live down the Momofuku thing, as you're realizing, huh?
It's fine because it's still the best dinner I ever had. It was worth every penny.
It was a great meal. I also see you got the very nice baby blue CTS hat on. Looks good on you.
Always, I have to rep it.
What's going on with you these days? I know you're still you're deep in these dapper streets. Any takes you want to fire from the hip right now?
I am deep into the Dapper streets. I do love Top Shot still. My only take is I think WNBA is going to be the next thing to hit. So I've been loading up on some of those.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Do you have an alpha leak on some moments you're scooping here? You want to pump your bags? Also, what is this smoke coming? Do you have a fog machine?
His apartment
My
is on
diffuser.
fire.
There we get it. Do you even smoke, bro?
I do smoke, but I'm no phase, so I couldn't do it on stream. Let me just.
No, I like it. It actually adds to the ambiance.
You know, no one ever
Definitely.
says anything. And I take a lot of work meetings from this exact place.
No one's ever brought up that you.
No one's ever brought up the smoke machine.
I think that reflects on either you and or your coworkers. But sorry, what's the WNBA moment we need to be loading up on?
I would say either it's Terra McCowan, Jewel Lloyd, or Liz Cambridge, because they are all fandom moments. They only have one moment, and they have a very low serial count because it's a fandom moment. It's not the usual 11,000. So those are the ones that I have been loading up on. And then the Diggins Smith, but that's a higher mint count. It's about 8,000.
Gotcha.
What's your alpha on why?
Well, if they get used in challenges, let's say there's a challenge right away, you know, they'll be the bottlenecks because they have the least moments on the site. I also been collecting some rares of like Candace Parker and Brianna Store, and like because if there's a rare challenge, then there's only a couple people that are in the WNBA as a rare. If you want real alpha, is Angel McCautry and Deladon have their debate moment as a rare, so that's their only moment on the platform, and they are going to be playing this year supposedly.
Okay.
Look at this. Max just coming on. Maybe
Not
I need
fucking
to.
around.
I know.
I've been studying the WNBA. I look at the stats. I see who has the most because I don't know a lot of these players before.
Do you have
He checked
any Arike Ogunbowale moments?
That is also another good one because she is very good. I saw she has a lot of points scored, and her moment is not too expensive, and she doesn't have any rares yet. So Top Shot debate could be. I'm waiting until April when they have when they release the others, because they said they're releasing rare WNBA moments. So once they release those, then I can collect some Top Shot debuts that don't have a rare, since those are usually instead of a rare on the platform for flash challenges. That's my strategy.
Do you recognize the last name, Pete?
For who?
Arike Ogunbowale.
Oh, Dare?
Yeah.
Is it?
So Dare's sister
Okay.
is one of the best scorers in the WNBA, and the Buick commercial made famous by none other than my guy Darren Rovell, which is I think it was Buick was running the commercials about how women's NCAA stuff wasn't seen. She hit a buzzer beater in the national championship game, Chris Jenkins style. So she's pretty legendary.
That's sick.
But yeah.
Well, thank you, Max, for the alpha leak on the WNBA. I'll be, watching that back. Maybe I like when you guys give me some of these tips on these other stuff. Someone in the Deposit Kingdom Discord gave me some UFC alpha a while ago. So keep it coming, you thought leaders down here. And who knows, Max, play your cards right. I might hire you as a WNBA Club Top Shot correspondent to come on just 5 minutes at WNBA alpha.
Pete, it would be a dream to work for you.
I like Ivan Black. Ivan.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Ivan. Yeah. Max
Yeah.
might be the guy.
Yeah, Max, have you ever played WNBA DFS?
No, but I am a follower of Adam, so I might, I do join some of his sites to do like preseason sometimes, and he does pretty good. So
Yeah.
he's the real thought leader.
Are you a follower pre or post vasectomy?
That was
Well,
actually what
you know,
brought Max in,
yeah.
is with the aplomb that he handled the vasectomy.
I think he has a lot of good takes, but now I'm concerned that his takes might have gone too far with the vasectomy.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not
really
gonna lie.
great.
The Gender Labs Sims, like he just kept mentioning that in the video. It was very funny. The elastic honeybee. That it's so funny. When I was with Dapper this weekend, like they know like about that whole thing, and they
That
referenced it. Yeah, in the conversation, they were like, because my buddy actually signed up on the spot for Top Shot, and so we were talking about the whole process, right? Of like, what's signing up look like? They don't know what to do, like how we should position it. How do you onboard? He rips a $9 starter pack. It was literally like the Top Shot people there were like, that is second to none, the worst pack we have ever seen opened. And then they're like, what's your username? We'll get you some packs. And, you know, they're like, well, we can't change it to, you know, it doesn't just make you Knicks fan 1087 elastic honeybee, and they reference it. So it's pretty funny.
Also, a little plot development here. Andy can't hide on the Underdog blockchain. People have discovered.
He checked the chain.
Check the chain, bro. All right, we brought Max on to chop it up. The WNBA Alpha was a bonus, but we're really here to open some packs. If I can do the right theme this time. Yo, 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 what up? It's DJ Pete Overzet. Welcome to the club. We didn't think things were going to get popping tonight, but it's about to get lit. Behind door number 2, it's a three-pointer. 13-25, Kevin Durant.
Let's go.
We're going to get a LaMelo. We're going to get a Luka. We're going to get a LeBron. Click the reveal. Let's go. God damn it. I don't need another layup. To the window. To the wall. The De'Aaron Fox stripped down my ball. 293 assists. Let's go. 293. Everybody get their drinks. Let's get a cheers tonight before we open up these nice packs. Cheers. Cheers to the fellas.
Jack, you look legitimately younger in that the let's get a cheers tonight
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I was like a baby boy. I was 20. No, I think it was 24. But yeah,
Back when you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, when you used to just sing Top Shot's praises and didn't become the old man telling Top Shot to get off your lawn.
Exactly.
Max, you know why I love you? Because sometimes now these VIP guests come on, they're ready to go. I look in the hopper, they've already got the screen share. Not you, man. You're too stoned out of your fucking mind to even know that you need to share your screen to rip these packs.
The volcano's
finger is
fucking popping off next.
I know where I see the share button, but I don't know the rest of it. But what I did do is I did download 3 all-day packs to be prepared for that because we don't have time to do
okay.
it.
You did do the claim ahead of time.
Yeah.
All right. You're a
what do you
competent,
mean
you're a functioning
downloaded?
stoner.
You know
Yes,
about you got to claim the all day packs because they're NFTs, and then you can rip them, but it takes like a minute.
I had no
Wow,
idea.
you're not in the all day streets.
Yeah,
Andy.
no, he's in the Underdog streets right now. So
No,
Max,
I'm not grinding this.
you hit the share screen, and now you're gonna have 3 options: entire screen, window, Chrome tab. Normally, I tell people to select Chrome tab. If you don't mind clicking entire screen, I'd like to see what kind of freaky shit you have on your desktop.
Did I share?
I'm very nervous for this.
Oh, should I do the Chrome tab?
Sure. Yes.
Oh, it doesn't allow me. I'll just share my entire screen one.
Oh no.
Should I do window? What should I do?
Give me the desktop, baby. Let's see what you're working with here. I want to see how organized, how disorganized. Are you, spray and pray with your icon?
Desktop has been full.
Okay. Oh, all right. Click off of this. This is Inception. You need to go over to your packs. But we're not going to have music if you don't do Chrome tab. So we need to redo this. Back to the drawing board.
Okay, share screen.
This is so good because this is taking me back
Share
to my
screen.
roots.
Chrome tab.
This is what I'm here for.
Oh, now I see. Got it. Okay.
This is
Now
why the people tune in. Thank you, Max. You are hired. WNBA correspondent and someone that allows me to do my share screen bit.
While you guys are loading this,
All right. Now we're good.
Hang on. Jack has something important to say.
No, I was gonna say there's only 2 1-of-1 all-stars left. They have gone up in price. So the first bunch sold for $40K. They've seemed to go about for like 50 to 55. There's been a 60 something thousand. It's been impressive to me. The Nets one ends tomorrow. It's at 49. This is where it sketches me out. And I know it's silly to place the bid, but like the Knicks one that ends in 2 days doesn't even have a bid on it. Like, how do they just find these bidders? Sorry if I'm offended.
I would love to meet all the people who are going to this thing.
The people bidding or the people that are going?
The people who have won these 28 auctions so far.
Is it possible that they cold call people, or like they have like a list of people
I'm sure they are
interested?
Yeah,
I'm sure
absolutely.
They are. Yeah,
I mean, they email the VIPs, I think, in the past, like reminding them. They know what they're doing, but I just don't get how it's. Yeah, I don't know.
Check the chain, bro.
Check
chain
the
doesn't lie. All right, we got standard pack here.
Should I just do reveal all since I have 3?
Yeah, reveal them. Go right. Okay. 3. I mean, all offense is always a win. DK Metcalf, not like he's just had the biggest downgrade at quarterback in NFL history, but he's a grown-ass man.
DK Metcalf can handle it.
Don't disrespect Baker Mayfield like that. He's going to end up in Seattle. It's going to be great.
Wait, then Andy, have you considered doing? My sources say Baker Mayfield is going to land. Maybe Pat McAfee shout you out on his show.
It's just something to consider.
Pat, hit me up. I'm there anytime.
Also, Jack, I completely agree with your sentiment about how good Pat McAfee is at what he does. But the fact that the glowing review of his show from your Twitter came after he cited you as a source was just a little bit suspicious.
In what regard? Like
You
all-star.
scratch my back, I scratch yours.
But him helping me I can't help him. He's too big time. I get what you mean though. I get what you mean.
No, he is very talented. And I was watching even just one of his clips from today. They were talking about Matt Rule cutting up a rug at like the owners meeting, and like even his just 2-minute clip was incredibly entertaining.
It's great.
Good.
Yeah, I really it's awesome because everyone's just with the. Yeah, I gave him 4% equity in the chicken tendy business.
Let's do these one at a time, Max. I need the 3 is a little too cool.
All right,
let's go, Max.
Oh
wow, legend.
That's a great one.
Great one. Doesn't watch.
We don't even watch it.
Oh.
All right.
He didn't have a pick in this game, did he? That's not a great play by Josh Allen.
He did have a pick.
Yeah.
All
right, Jamar Chase, let's go.
I actually got one of those one time.
There you go. Zach Wilson. All right, rookie QB.
I think this was his 6th throw, wasn't it? No,
this is
No, that's a moment.
I know they lure you in because I'm like,
is it a melt? Is it a melt?
Well, this is the all-day debut, so
His debut moment is like a 15-yard quarterback scramble.
It shows you the state of the Jets.
That's fair.
Or the shot of curation, the state of curation.
God,
all right, you have one more pack?
One more I have all ready to go.
This is going to be a walk-off pack.
Oh, yes.
Max?
This is a dream of mine.
Max, is there any final words before you send
this
one?
Yes. My Twitter handle is LA_2020 S_SM. It will say Panda. Please follow me. I'm at a 50% following to followers ratio, so it's not very good. I'm at 1,000 to 500.
Can I give you a lesson, Max?
Oh, I'll throw you a follow. You're a knight.
I am. I have 6 nights, Jack. I want to wait for those night chicken tendies.
You want to know? I hung out with Max longer at Jack's Knights party in LA than I did with Jack. Max was there longer than you were.
Hey, bro, when Justin Bieber calls, you got to do what you got to do.
All right, Max, we appreciate you coming on. Really milk it here, you know? I I know I said I might bring you back as a WNBA correspondent, but rip this pack as if you're never coming back.
It's tough to do, but hopefully I will see all these people in Vegas.
That's right.
All right.
We appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. You can always check the audio on the iTunes Club Top Shot. If you want to hop in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, become a Club VIP.
Do it. Well, you get free dinner at Momofuku, possibly.
If you're lucky.
It's loot box rules. We're not able to guarantee it. But
Wait, you want to know what's so funny is that I did the exact same thing in the exact same city with the exact same company's money. I latched on to every Dapper event. Huh?
That same room?
No. We went to Scarpetta, but they took me to a Dua Lipa concert, a Knights game in the suite. Oh my God.
And you weren't even supposed to be a VIP. You just stumbled upon them? They must not be too mad at your tweets, Jack. Sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, they don't hate you that much.
Well, why do you think I was?
Or they're trying to reel him back in.
Yeah. They got me. I'm about to buy an Enrique moment after the show.
No, Max got you on that one. All right, here we go.
Brady? No.
All right. This is the French filmmaker Gregory Rousseau.
I haven't even heard of Gregory Rousseau.
That's why it's so good. It's rare. Never used it.
Super rare.
It is a debut, though, so.
All right, Keenan Allen.
We like it.
I like that.
Ooh,
As a Charger
look at
season
the
ticket
angle.
holder,
Wait, look at
nice.
the angle. Did you see that? A camera angle to start? You like that?
Jack's really loving the cinematography on this one.
Look at that angle. Go Dapper, go. Oh, okay.
All right, Max, go out on a high note. No Gregory
Thank you, Peter.
Rousseau's there.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Come on.
Peter.
Come on.
Come on.
Let's do it, Max.
Oh, God.
Eli
Elijah.
Mitchell.
Oh,
Look
take
at
it.
that. All
Maybe
right.
even a touchdown? Let's see.
Maybe
No,
even
let's
a
not get crazy.
touchdown. Get in the end
Just
zone.
a good
Do
long
it.
run.
Get in the end zone for us.
Nah, just a
Nope.
good long run.
Rugged again. Peace out, guys.